Hello everybody and welcome back to another edition of First Step Chef. Today we are working on one of the easiest meals you will ever make. A cutlet chicken with some potatoes and some Brussels sprouts. So without further ado, let's get going. So our first ingredient here, chicken. Now for your first time doing this, I would recommend just getting the cutlets, the same size of chicken that I have here. In the future, after you see how it's done, you might go for bigger sizes of chicken that can cook the exact same length of time as the potatoes and Brussels sprouts. You'll see what I mean later, and I'll discuss it at the end too. The ease of this can depend on what size of chicken you get. So our next ingredient here is potatoes. I have golden potatoes shown here. You can use regular russet potatoes if you want. I like using the golden potatoes because they come in smaller sizes, so I don't end up cooking too much potato and end up having to save some. I can measure it out to be the exact amount that I think I'm going to eat that day. And finally, a serving of Brussels sprouts. Once again, depends on how much you think you're going to eat. Just measure out the amount that you'd think you'd eat in only one meal. So the first thing you want to do, honestly, even before you start cutting the potato, set your oven to preheat to 400 degrees. It's going to save you time. Just take your potato, slice it in half, cut it into smaller little cubes, and that's it. It's that simple. Now before just throwing the potato directly into the oven to cook alone by itself, I would coat it with a little bit of olive oil. The easiest way for me is I just put it in a container, pour a little bit in there, cover it up, and then shake it all around. Then you don't have to get your hands dirty. Now I really recommend the olive oil is worth the extra step if you have it. Once you're done with the potatoes, you just throw it in the pan. Next you can cut up the Brussels sprouts. Now depending on how you buy them, if it's directly off the stalk or in one of the little bags, you might have to cut some of the ends off. They can be real thick and hard to chew, so it's best to just take them out of there. Other than that, you just have to cut them in half. Once again, very simple. Now here I do the same thing with the Brussels sprouts. I put them in a container with a little olive oil, maybe some salt, and then I just shake it up and it covers all the pieces. So in the future, honestly, you can throw the potatoes and Brussels sprouts all into one container and shake them up with the oil and whatever seasonings you're going to use, and it works just as well, especially if you're in a hurry. Now with the oven set to 400 degrees, go ahead and put in just the vegetables for 10 minutes. While the veggies are in the oven, this is your chance to prep your chicken. For your first time doing this, I would suggest keeping it simple, coating the chicken with some salt, letting that sit for a while, and then right before you put it in the oven, adding a little bit of olive oil. So other times that you end up trying this, you'll have the opportunity to prep your chicken in different ways. So once I take the vegetables out of the oven, I usually like to flip them around a little bit. It just helps from things getting burned or from anything sticking to the pan and making it difficult to clean later. You're ready to add the chicken. From this point forward, if you want to, just put the pan in with the vegetables and the chicken and let it heat in the oven for 25 more minutes. So as you can see, as I show here, I take it out once or twice to flip things around, and if you don't want to do that, you don't have to. If there's one day you're in a hurry or you're busy doing something else, from this point forward, just throw it in the oven, and then after 25 minutes, you'll be ready to go and it'll be all done. And this is the end. Add a little more seasoning if you want it, but you're all set with chicken, potatoes, and Brussels sprouts. And all you had to do was just throw it all in the oven. Now, there are some sizes of chicken you can even get where you don't have to cook the vegetables in the oven for 10 minutes beforehand. You might be able to just throw it all in the pan at once, put it in there, set it for 30-35 minutes, and it'll all come out ready to go, done. This is seriously one of the easiest things you could do. So please, as always, if you have any ideas on how to make it better, send them over, leave a comment. I really think those of you out there with busy schedules are going to like this a lot. I appreciate you making a stop here at First Step Chef to get some cooking tips. I hope to see you again for another video. Until next time.